Listen guys, the final Smash Direct is happening in just a few hours. I want to talk about it, I want to make some predictions, and do this with you. Blood content. What's happening, my Blocked buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content for today. We are actually going to do some predictions about that Smash Bros. Direct that is happening in just a few hours. Now, it's no big secret. The Grinch leak has been everywhere on the internet, and some people are denying this thing. Some people may have been contacted by Nintendo to not say anything about it. I'm not naming names, but things are heating up with this Smash Bros. Direct, and because Nintendo has said this is the final one, it's going to be presented by Masahiro Sakurai. We already know quite a lot of things about this because it won't be a fact extravaganza, because that was of course hosted by the voice of Smash Brothers, the announcer and Master Hand, and this is going to be hosted by Masahiro Sakurai, so it will be a lot closer to the directs that we had before this one. And also we know that it's the final Smash Direct. Like, there's not going to be one after this for a while, maybe when DLC wraps around, maybe if that's going to happen, but right now this is going to be the final thing, so it's going to show off the entire roster because Sakurai has said as much. You know, maybe there will be another reveal that will be dropped in, you know, something that isn't a Smash Direct, but something like a trailer just dropped online or something like that, but I believe that we are going to get the full entire starting roster, base roster, every unlockable character for the game. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a crazy ride here with the Block Buddies, with doing our new premieres, doing the Snake Codex shows, and it's been such a crazy ride that I think we're going to be continuing for quite a while, because even after Smash is out, and even if we know most of the information about the game, there's so much coming up still. There's so much that we can still talk about in terms of DLC, in terms of ranking, in terms of playing matches with you guys, and I'm so excited about that fact. So just know that we are going to have our comment question winner very soon, and we of course are giving away that Smash Brothers pin. We'll talk about it at the end of this video, so stick around. Anyways guys, let's just get right into this. I'm going to talk a little bit about game modes in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, because we know quite a lot about the game modes in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, right? They've shown us quite a bit, and I'm actually pretty happy about most of the things that we already know. There are some game modes, like the Squad Strike game mode, that are really appealing to me, and the fact that you can now turn like a Final Smash meter on during battles, that's information that I don't necessarily want to see more about, but I want to see what changes the game like that. Are there other game modes that we don't know about? Now, of course, there's always some other, weird new game mode, a solo game mode. We had Smash Run, we had games like Smash Tour, and we even had, of course, previously, the Subspace Emissary, a big story mode. Now, this supposed Spirits mode, right? Would this happen? Would a big story mode with cutscenes still happen in this game? My theory is yes, but to an extent. I don't think that there will be a big overarching story. I think that if that were to be one of the selling points of this game, it would have been introduced a lot earlier, because there would probably be a lot more to talk about. I do think that there is a Super Smash Bros. Melee-like adventure mode in play here, and that might be the Spirits mode. I think what you do is you play through different courses, maybe like 7 or 8 different awesome courses, like themed after Fire Emblem and The Legend of Zelda, the Super Mario Bros. Series, maybe styled after New Super Mario Bros., stuff like that. And after those stages, you might occasionally fight a character, you might occasionally fight a boss, which would be really awesome. I don't think, seeing the development time and seeing all the things that Sakurai is putting into this game, I do not think that we'll get a full-fledged story mode with cutscenes and stuff like that, even though we try to kind of scratch that itch with our show, Smash Bros. Origins, so keep a lookout on that. But I don't think that there has been development time enough for a big full-fledged, even, the same as Subspace Emissary, I don't think is entirely real and entirely doable for this version of Smash Brothers, which would be fine if they added a very cool adventure type mode that has a lot of replayability, maybe some randomization, right? Maybe it's like a dungeon crawler, and every time you go through it, it's kind of different. Maybe they've also kind of talked about this, and it looked with Smash Brothers Wii U and 3DS when you fought the Master Core in the Wii U version of the game. Maybe something like that, but a lot more visually appealing than that mode initially was. So in terms of a story mode, Spirits, not entirely sure what that's going to be. I have seen, of course, the bosses, and I do think that there's a lot of possibility for crazy, awesome bosses. I mean, if we think in terms of the Pokemon franchise, there's so many gigantic, awesome Pokemon, like the legendaries, that could be bosses. I'm just thinking of characters like, Lugia or Ho, or maybe even going as far to say as the 3 legendary birds or stuff like that. But there are, of course, some newer Pokemon that might fit that bill a lot better. But think about stuff like Dr. Eggman in his little flying machine. That could be a really great boss. Characters like Petey Piranha was in Smash Bros. Brawl, they could bring back. Maybe big mech kind of enemies that even could be piloted by someone like, Dr. Eggman himself. All that kind of stuff I think fits perfectly within a boss rush kind of mode, but I do think that there is something connecting these boss fights, to each other. I think that showing that artwork that Sakurai showed at the reveal of King K. Rool, I think that there is a certain heroes versus villains element to it. And I think that we are going to be fighting as either the villains or as either the heroes and fighting against different characters from these different franchises. Just seeing Dracula up there and seeing characters like the Yellow Devil, and to some extent I think there have been instances in past Smash Brothers games that could still be featured, like Taboo and Master Hand. They could all be in this mode. So I think that there's a lot of possibility there, but I'm very sure that it won't be a full-fledged story mode with characters interacting and a lot of cutscenes. Don't think that is happening. I don't think that Nintendo and Sakurai right now have the time and resources to do something like that. But with that said, I do think that we are going to get a gigantic blowout of game modes that we've not heard about, and that will be the focus of this game. It is the ultimate Smash Brothers in the sense that it has the most Smash for your buck. It has the most content, so it'll have a big games and more kind of part where you can, play, of course, every kind of event match that you want to play. The event matches are also for 2 players. Maybe they can even be for 3 and 4 players. And event matches have so much more to give now that we have characters like Simon, we have characters like King K. Rool, and all these cool Echo Fighters. They give so much opportunity for crazy, awesome event matches that I could only just think of the genius that Sakurai would create with new event matches. I really want to know your ideas too for event match, so put them down in the comments. I love reading through all those ideas, and maybe they will come true. Now, of course, there's also stuff like a classic mode that they've already kind of shown off. It's a lot closer to the one in Melee and in the original Smash Brothers, which I'm very happy about. And I really want to know what bookends that. Is it just Master Hand? Is it Master and Crazy Hand? Are we going to get some sort of Giga Bowser kind of reveal there? Is there something more? Do we get something like a fighting Polygon team? Or is it just going to be the exact same Mii Fighter battles again? I really want to know more about that mode too. And if you think about classic mode, you also think about all-star mode, which will definitely be in. I mean, after Melee, that was like, oh, this is really easy to program, it's a lot of fun, and you can run through this with every single character, and it'll keep you engaged for years and years to come, because that'll take a long time. I think that all-star mode is definitely in. I do think that it's an unlockable mode after you have all the characters in the game, and unlocking all the characters in the game at itself is something that Sakurai is probably going to show in this new Nintendo Direct. We will finally find out how you are going to collect all these 70 plus characters that are in this roster, which I think is a great idea, to just start with the original 64 roster and just fight your way through and find new characters. I hope that it's tied to Spirits mode. I really would love it that when Smash Brothers comes out, everyone will be engrossed in a mode like single player mode, like a Spirits mode, and we'll spend the first few days of having Smash Brothers either, going online and fighting a few battles, but it takes effort to unlock these characters. It won't be just 10 matches and it's Jigglypuff, 10 matches and it's Luigi. I hope that it will be not difficult to get these characters, but that it will take effort and that it will, get you playing across the entire game. All these cool different new modes, and you have to try them all out in order to get all the characters. Of course, the process is going to be streamlined, and I think that streamlining has been kept under wraps because it's, combined with that spirits mode. I think that's why Sakurai really wants to talk about that very soon, and I think it's going to happen in that Nintendo Direct. Talking a little bit about training mode, I think that they've showed off a little bit more about what the area looks like in training mode. You can now see the arcs that characters fly in at certain percentages. You can now kind of measure how much damage your attacks do and how far people, get sent off the ground when you hit them. I think that's really cool. I'm wondering if there's still the item toggle and all that kind of stuff. I wonder how many Pokeballs and how many assist trophies at a time you can throw out. That would be really amazing to see because there are 8-player Smash battles now, and probably on every stage, like Sakurai has said. So having characters like Ice Climbers and maybe characters like the Choir Kids, right? That'll be really fun to have so many people flying around the stage, having Pokeballs, having assist trophies, having characters like Ice Climbers that are too. That will just be a chaos, and I always love messing around in training mode. And even looking at the animations, that's such a great, big, fun part of Smash Brothers. Putting it on slow motion, doing a couple of moves with your favorite character, and just look at how much detail is in those moves. I just love the animation aspect of Smash Brothers. They are a big part of why the game just works and the attacks feel so powerful. Animation is one of my favorite parts of media in general, and just having Smash Brothers have such compelling, and with this new game, such emotive new animations, I think will make for a very special game. So of course there's also that stadium part of the entire game mode section of Smash Brothers in a whole, and of course there are games like Multi-Man Smash. Now, I think that it's safe to say that we won't be getting a mashup between Polygon Fighters and the Alloy Fighters and stuff like the Mii Fighters. I think it will just be the Mii Fighters. I think we've programmed that quite well. I think that it served its purpose well in the Wii U version. It wasn't a lot of people's favorites. I think the Polygon team worked because it felt very threatening. I think the Alloy team did something very similar. I really hope that it's like the wireframes and stuff like that Nintendo does something similar, but I don't think so. I think that it would be really cool to have Mii Fighters in a costume that looks a bit like the Polygon team or the wireframes or the Alloys. So that would be my hope, that Nintendo basically gives Mii Fighters costumes for all those characters, so that if we are to go through classic mode, we can actually fight the fighting Polygon team because they're just Mii Fighters dressed up. So in terms of Target Blast or Target Smash, I am, of course, like every single human being that has ever played Smash Brothers for Wii U, I'm leaning against of course, having a Target Smash as opposed to a Target Blast, because Smash to me is about the mobility of characters, figuring out their movesets, and Target Blast to me never really did that. You can't really be all that mobile. You have to do all this weird stuff that doesn't really make any sense for Smash Brothers. It was more or less something like an Angry Birds kind of clone, and to me, Target Smash is about finding which character works best for you, but also kind of figuring out characters that you wouldn't normally play as and getting to play as every single character in the roster if they are going the route of having a specific target test per character, which I would heavily recommend, even if they have the same graphical style, which they didn't have before. But even if they did that and save on development time and editing time and designing time, that would be an absolute must for me, because Target Smash is so fun and so great. And even the idea of not just having a stage builder for Smash Brothers, but having a custom create your Target Smash own stages for characters, that would be totally amazing to me. And having them shareable online, the game will live on forever, because people are going to come up with such crazy cool, obstacle courses. And they could even have it be as easy as Mario Maker, where you basically just place a few blocks, place a few targets, and then having to complete that stage yourself to prove that it's doable, and then throwing it online. I think Home Run Contest is in, as it has been for the past few Smash games. I think visually it's going to look even more awesome. I think that it's improved every single game. I did really like the one in Smash Brothers Melee, because it had a big penalty and it was really, aggressive, and you had to restart it immediately if you made one tiny mistake. And I didn't really feel that in the Wii version, and I did not really feel that in the Wii U version. So I hope that they go back to this big punishment, big payoff kind of thing. I just like the risk of that Home Run Contest. And having characters like, just for instance, K. Rool in that home run contest is going to be so much fun to kind of figure out how am I going to rack up the most damage with all these new movesets that are now available, because we have all these cool newcomers in the game. So for me, it's, yeah, multi-man Smash is going to be in. I hope that Target Smash will be in, and Target Blast will be completely forgotten about. I hope that Sakurai has picked up on that, and Home Run Contest is just a done deal. I think so. So as far as custom things go in this game, Mii fighters, characters, customizing moves, I think that custom moves are out. I think that that was a thing of Wii U, and that worked well for that game. It wasn't a lot of people's favorites, but it did, do its job. I thought it was very difficult to unlock every single part. To this day, I have not gotten all of the parts yet, which really is, a detriment to that game. It was such a grind to get through Wii U, and I hope that it gets a little bit easier. I don't think that there will be custom moves. It will be just a little bit too much for all those new characters and returning characters like Young Link, characters like Pichu, all that stuff. I do think for Mii fighters, there's going to be some level of customization, simply because they've said you can go online with your Mii fighter now, and we finally made it happen. And that could only be difficult if it weren't, the base Mii characters. You can definitely customize them and hopefully customize their moves, because I can finally have my Knuckles again. I had a Knuckles Mii fighter, which looked exactly like Knuckles, played exactly like Knuckles, like I customized to be quite slow, but also really powerful and a bit, good running speed. But yeah, that kind of stuff was a really good part of Smash Bros. For Wii U, and I really hope to see that return. As far as the vault goes, right, we have trophies, we have stuff like a shop or a lottery to win trophies. Is there going to be a game mode like Trophy Rush or like the coin launcher where you win new trophies? I really hope so. I think that Sakurai is on top of something like this. Because it's such a fun way to go outside of the norm of Smash Brothers and play just a small mini game to get all these cool collectibles. I don't think that there will be that many crazy trophies in this game. People have been talking about 1,000 trophies. I don't think it'll reach quite that level. I hope so, because it's always fun to unlock more stuff, but to me, it's not one of the big hallmarks of Smash Brothers. To me, it's simply about collecting as a whole, and if that's characters or trophies, I'm just game for anything. So I really hope that there is, a big photo mode. I thought photo mode in Super Mario Odyssey was very well executed, and the models in Smash Brothers, the worlds in Smash Brothers, the camera in Smash Brothers all serve extremely well to have a mode like that. I know every single Smash game has had something like it, a pause screen where you can like tilt the camera around, and it's really, really fun. I think that it would be even more fun if there are a lot more like photo filters you can bring on there, edits, and just completely like immediately sharing it online. So I really hope that Nintendo jumps on the chance to get some of that album kind of functionality in the game, because I'm one of those guys that could spend hours creating cool pictures, and maybe we'll have like an album blocked content video series where you guys can actually send in your Smash Bros. Ultimate pictures, and I will put them in a video slideshow. That would be really fun. So I of course think that replays are in just because the Switch works that way. A sound test would be great. I know those kinds of modes are always kind of included. And of course, there's one thing that we need to mention, which is amiibo support. Now, of course, we've had amiibo support in the previous Smash game. We now know that figure players are still in some way in the game, but I really hope that they kind of expand on it a little bit more, so that it feels like you're really powering up your character, that it really becomes like your partner. So maybe you can take it along in the single player modes, maybe you can take it along in spirits, and it really becomes your buddy. That, I think, would be really cool. Taking it with you when you take your Switch on the go, that would make it feel so special. And of course, I really want to see the amiibo for characters like Young Link. I want to see the amiibo for King K. Rool. I want to see the amiibo for Chrom, for Dark Samus. I want to see Simon and Richter's amiibo, Isabelle. But I really want to know what are the newcomers that are coming, and maybe we'll get a look at their amiibo. That would be just the best thing ever. So in terms of game modes, I think that was really what I wanted to focus on today. I'm really curious what you guys think and think is going to happen in that Nintendo Direct. There is actually a discussion coming, and we'll record it in just a few hours with, of course, our Blocked Content crew. We are going to do last-minute predictions before that Smash Brothers Direct drops, so I hope that you guys will tune in when that happens. Thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, you guys know that there is a giveaway. You can actually win this extremely cool Smash Brothers Ultimate pin, and time's ticking, guys. So put it down in the comments why you think you deserve that awesome pin, and we'll send it out all over the world. So if you win this thing, you will proudly wear it when you are playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And of course, we have a comment question of the day. Today's comment question is, what mode are you most excited about for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? So put it down in the comments. Maybe I'll read it next episode. And as for our previous comment question, it comes from way of switching, saying,
honestly, I don't think it's real. It looks like a Photoshop Lil Mac.
Well, Switching, thank you so much for your comment. Yes, there are a lot of leaks floating around, and none of which is more important than, of course, the Grinch leak. And it's so funny seeing people react, to Team Real, Team Fake. We had a great discussion with Artsy Omni the other day. So if you really want to dig deeper into, is this leak real or is this leak fake, there are so many arguments for both sides, and that's really why I love this channel. We just, approach it from a very neutral angle and see what the evidence stacks up. So check out that video if you want to learn more about that. And also, I want to just give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters. It's been amazing seeing the Patreon support grow for this channel, and it really helps me to create daily content like I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. That's only possible because people are donating to the Patreon, and you get crazy cool rewards like deciding what we make a video about. And a lot of people have been doing that, and I've been very happily giving people their supply. So thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Remember, if you're not yet a member of the Blocked Content family, just click that cool subscribe button down there. All the news, all the leaks, all the discussions, all the animations and fun that you care about will be delivered daily to you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and just remember, we're always around the corner. That's Blocked Content. See ya.